Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily. Jeez, we're covering a lot. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. We're talking AFL, there's some NRL, I've even got a bit of NFL, we've got the Ashes, we've got Wimbledon. Stats guy, what do you like the most?
Value pick to win the Women's Wimbledon.
That is a very good pick. I like that one a lot too. Alex.
A beautiful Norwegian man to score a lot of goals.
He is very beautiful, isn't he? We've got player props, we've got game picks, we've got best bets, we've got to rate my multi. It's all in today's show. It's Code Bet Daily. Better check it out right now. Welcome to Code Bet Daily. It is Wednesday, Hump Day, July 5, all day. This is episode 145 of Code Bet Daily. I am your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website. In a surprise twist, it's called Code Bet. You can find it, again, in a surprise twist at codebet.com.au for all your betting analyses, odds comparisons, all that good stuff. I'm joined, as always, by the Pontiffs. That's right, the Pontiffs of punting. Nailed it.
I'll take that.
Absolutely smashed
You
that
did
one.
that without auto cue. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm finally proud of myself. It's been a long road. Either way,
That's another podcast, yeah.
over there, yeah, that's my narrative podcast.
ASMR podcast.
I am Jim. All right, we've got Alex Donnelly over there.
Yeah, spent way too much money on World Cup tickets yesterday, but going to the World Cup!
Yes.
All right, let's go
See the
Sam Kerr.
Matildas.
Hell yeah.
And we've got the stats guy.
I mean, I was gutted that Wimbledon got washed out last night. Couldn't watch
Why?
any
It means you
sport.
can bet again.
Bet again, yeah. But yeah, we'll see how
Also
we go
means
tomorrow.
more tennis.
True.
Yeah.
It's going to be all packed in. It's going to be hard to watch them all, but
It sort of accordions the schedule,
it's
which
annoying.
gets a bit weird. But
It'd be
anyway.
annoying for them, but yeah.
Anyway, this is Code Washout Daily, and we are talking, as we always do, about all things codes, betting, and daily. Not really about betting. It says it on the tin. It's what do we got? Player props, best bets, game picks. Do we ever rate my multi today, stats guy?
Not on the run sheet, but I can probably whip one up. The one from yesterday is still live.
I think that's
so
still good.
Can I just say that again?
I think we might just do
So,
that
Gerald,
one.
just replay it again, please. We're all in different clothes, but it's fine.
But either way, we are looking at today. I'm covering a bit of AFL.
Yep.
Again, some more NFL. Just one NFL look for the futures and a bit of third test Ashes. Because it's tomorrow
I know,
night.
The turnaround's so
I'm
quick.
loving it. Just look, if you can just like lay out a bunch of cricket and footy on the same night, I'm just happy. Simple as that. That's just my happy place.
Yeah.
A couple of tins, bit of sport, off we go.
Perfect.
Simple as that. What about you there, Alex? What are you looking at?
More APL player props. So thank Bet365 putting up a lot of stuff in the last 24 hours. That's really
nice.
good. Some NRL and an AFL look. Just a little quirky one for tomorrow's game between Richmond and Sydney.
Nice one. I've got my little AFL one ahead of Friday night footy too. Liam.
Yeah, some Wimbledon's more Wimbledon bets. So hopefully they can get on the courts tonight, and then an NRL look as well.
Nice
So I
one.
like Stats Guy's theory of putting stuff on for the tennis when it's like, oh, it's going to rain for the next 2 days. I don't have to redo any of my run sheet.
Not bad.
No, I changed all
Good
of
point.
mine actually.
Because we can actually
Thank you
just
very
run
much.
over like the bets we had on
I
yesterday's
was about to
show.
say we could just talk about Greg Barry.
Greg
for 15
Barry
minutes
didn't even
again.
get to play last night.
More Greg Barry. I've got my Greg Barry t-shirt on. Like, it's going to be awesome. Either way, let's get into some player props. Simple as this one for me. I'm going to go back to the well. I think Stats Guy's hit on this in his article as well.
I did.
Marnus.
Yes.
Loves Headingley.
Yeah.
What
I
do you
think he
go,
averages
70 plus in
70 plus in
both innings.
Yeah, so he averages 77 there, I'm pretty sure.
Back in 2019.
Yep.
He's looked in good nick. It just keeps getting out.
He keeps nicking
Yeah.
it.
It's
He
very
gets
annoying.
to a point and then just
He's
gets
hitting
out.
like 20, 30, and you're like, he's fine. I think last game
Got a
he made
couple
what?
of 46, I think he made.
46,
I can't remember
47.
the first inning.
And you're like, yes, he's on for the fifth. Oh, he's
Yeah.
out. You're killing me, Marnus. So 50 plus in the first innings for Marnus to tell us 50. Captain Clements. Absolute stalwart in the face of a whole mess of English whinging.
Oh,
They're
That's just
still
gone.
going. Piers
still
Morgan
going.
hasn't shut up.
yeah.
It's not in the spirit of the game.
It's very
That was
funny.
the
Check the
MCC.
scoreboard. It's
But it's
two
very,
zip.
it's very funny that people bring in, it's the spirit of the game when the laws
The
of
law-
the game go against them. You know,
Yeah.
shut up.
It's only
It
sport.
was out. Ben
only-
Duckett was also out.
Yep.
Shut up.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the fact that we had literally the example of Bairstow trying to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Bairstow
in the-
also doing the exact same thing in like a state league game for whichever Shire he plays
McAllion
for.
doing it
He
as
was
well.
like, the bloke's going to lift his leg, bloke's going to lift his leg. I got him. Like, no. That's
To the point where I think there was even a clip of Johnny Bairstow himself saying, well, if it's in the laws of the game, then it's within the laws of the game.
Yeah,
you can
exactly,
do whatever
yeah.
you
And
want.
then he's
It's like,
complaining about it.
All right, have a sook. Have another whinge. Baby needs its bottle. Right, Cummins, though, 2.5 wickets. I think
Been
he's...
poor. He's been poor
Oh,
this
he's been all right.
he was
yeah.
all right in the second.
Not
second
getting as many
innings.
wickets as he usually does, though.
that's
Yeah.
what I mean.
I did love Stark.
Stark's my favourite, I
Stark's
think.
second innings at times, basically when he wasn't being, well, everybody wasn't being carded by Ben Stokes.
Yeah.
But Stark bowled I think, who wasn't in that second innings, but it was like the most bold anybody's ever
Yeah,
been.
the stump went flying.
Wow,
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The last wicket.
Yeah.
Cummins, though, 2.5. Love him in this one. Top innings first wicket taker as well, $3.25 for Cummins. Go the double. You know I love those doubles
Yeah.
of the top run scorer for
Good value
Australia,
for that.
top wicket taker, $15 for Marnus and Cummins combined. I really like that just because I think without the GOAT, I think you'll see Cummins go out there, I've copped a bit of a battering over the last week. I don't really care. But you know what I'll do? I'm not going to whinge.
Yeah.
I'm going to let the ball do the talking.
Exactly.
I'm going to let my game do the talking. I'm not going to sook. I'm not going to whinge.
Is there any chance we bring in Michael Nisa?
That'd be nice. I wouldn't mind Scobo coming in for Hazelwood, though.
Yeah, that's why I think Nisa might come in.
But either way, my double that
Possibly, yeah.
of Marnus and Cummins is $15. Yeah. NFL player prop, quick one. I love this. I always love the offensive player of the year.
I'm a very offensive player.
I didn't even know they had that.
You're mostly offensive all of the time.
Exactly.
But $17 for Christian McCaffrey, the sort of Swiss Army knife do-everything dude on the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep.
$17 for him to win Offensive Player of the Year when the Niners don't really have an answer at quarterback at the moment. They're kind of like, we'll be fine. And they don't know what they're doing yet. That's a really good team, though, so they'll keep on winning games. McCaffrey, he'll just be asked to do everything. Like you might remember, last year McCaffrey quite famously had a throwing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. If that doesn't scream Offensive Player of the Year across the actual breadth of an entire season where he gets an off-season with their coach, Kyle Shanahan, who's like, offensive genius. Yep. He's going to use him in every which way. I think McCaffrey was on absolutely smashing, like for this Offensive Player of the Year one, to the point where he could win MVP. And if you get $17 for Offensive Player of the Year, which is basically like, we'll give it to the position player that's not a quarterback.
Rather than a quarterback for MVP.
Who's the MVP.
Yeah.
For MVP, he's $126.
Wow. That's
But he won't win it.
But he could.
But he won't.
126, he could. At 126, I'm actually not too shy about going, there's $10 on that one. Off we go. But $17 for Offensive Player of the Year because he could lead the league in rushing yards for San Francisco.
Yep.
And you tend to see running backs who do that come very close to winning. And he could also have an absolute mess of receiving yards. So you'll see at the end of this NFL season, provided he stays healthy, that's always a big thing with McCaffrey. Provided he stays healthy, he could have just an incredible combined number. And that'll just be within week 3, that $17 number could be $4.
Well, yeah,
So
exactly.
It's a great value right now. I love that. Let's get over it.
Nice.
Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco 49ers. There you go.
Good job.
49ers.
I'll finish saying
Jim.
the word. I had a stroke right then. $17 for Offensive Player of the Year. All right. I'm also still on for my Wimbledon bet from yesterday, aren't I?
Yeah, team.
you
You said
Dominic
Stefanos
Thiem.
Tsitsipas 3-1, and team won the first set.
Won the
so
first
he's
set.
still alive. Yeah.
So he's going to come out. Tsitsipas will smoke him in there.
I
with
think
the rest
that
of it.
team actually has been killing it. So we'll see how we go.
Don't mind it. Right. Alex, what's your player props?
Having a look at the EPL for some player props here for some goals for the season. We'll start off with Erling Haaland. Pretty easy way to start because what does he do for a living?
Kicks goals.
Kick goals. Kicks a lot of them.
That's nice hair.
It's glorious, Cotton. 35 plus goals is $3.25 for the upcoming season. He had 36 and 35 games this season. And you just think with the full season under his belt, it's like, oh yeah, I know what this is all about. I'm going to go and score more goals because if you go back through, there was a few games where it's like
Start of the year, yeah.
Yeah, he's walked away with only one, and you're like, you could have had 7. What are you doing? I think there was a game against Bournemouth or Notts. And he should have scored 4 goals. He literally missed from me to you away, Jim. For those not watching, it's about a meter.
Yeah.
And it's just how? But okay, sure. Look, Man City, they just score goals for fun. They've scored well over 100 goals the last couple of seasons now. And Haaland, just an absolute goddamn freak. 35 plus is $3.25. If you think you can get a real roll on and just break all records, $10 for 40 plus is
40
available.
plus. Well, people were on the 40 plus at the start of last year because he was on track, and then he sort of.
Well, he missed a couple of games in March or April. He had a toe injury or something.
Not out of the question.
If he plays all the games, basically for the 35 plus, you're just betting on Haaland to play 30 to 35.
That's a good AFL season, let alone an EPL season.
It's an amazingly awesome EPL
There you
season.
go.
So,
Charlie Cameron versus Haaland.
Yeah. That'd be
Joe
good.
Danaher versus
They
Haaland.
could do cross-sport bets.
Harry Mackay versus Haaland.
I'm going Haaland every time.
So he's $3.25, and then I'm gonna have a look.
That's actually not a bad question in general. would Erling Haaland kick more AFL goals than Harry Mackay would kick actual, football, soccer goals?
Oh, I'd still go.
I'd go
Haaland.
I'm back in Haaland.
I reckon Haaland, you put him on the G, just give him this oval ball. He's like, I could still do it.
I was about to say, how
Checks this
Buddy
out.
hurdled over that Collingwood guy. You could see Haaland just hurdling over
Yeah,
someone and
then
bombing
kicking
it
down
from
the
70.
full.
It's like, did he just kick that off the ground 55 metres?
Yes.
That was sick.
And my other one, Martin Odegaard for Arsenal, 15 plus goals at $6. Look, he was the second best Norwegian in the EPL this season.
And he's still a freak, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just that Erling Haaland's there. Arsenal's best player for the year, and look, I'll still die on that hill. For the first half of the season, he was the best player in the EPL. He scored 15 goals last season, and now you have a look at the additions Arsenal have made to their squad. Kai Havertz and Declan Rice, that deal's been ticked off this morning. He's not going to spend as much time on the ball in the lead-up, and he makes a lot of runs in behind the line and takes plenty of first-time shots on the goal. Like when everyone's lining up for a cross, he just ducks into the box and just hits it first time. He's got a great shot from outside the box too. As I said, scored 15 goals last year, so he bobs up with one or two here or there. $6 for 15 plus. I don't mind at all because he got it last year. Arguably, Arsenal are going to be better this season. So it's like
You get more shots probably.
yeah, you'd think they would too,
I like
especially with the additions of Havertz, Rice. Hopefully, Saliba plays a full season. It's like, no,
Dun, 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 dun.
Saliba.
So yeah, I don't mind those two bets whatsoever. But Haaland 35 plus at $3.25 is just staring me right in the face.
That's awesome.
I don't mind that Odegaard one a lot. $6.
You don't
Because
mind it a
the
lot.
thing is, he's going to drop in behind Havertz, and that's the thing. It's like Havertz and Jesus up front. It's like, Odegaard's there. Cool, goal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Good one. Stats guy.
Looking at some Wimbledon, usually the first round isn't still being played on day 3, but we are still in the first round for some. Looking at the women's side of the tour with Maria Sakkari taking on Marta Kuszczak.
Well done.
Sakkari, I was trying to remember that one. Sakkari is well deserved at 8th seed. She's been in great form this season. She's made 6 semi-finals in tournaments and just a lot more experience than Kuszczak. Kuszczak's only played in 2 grass tournaments across the past few years. So for some reason, I think she's been injured. She's pulled out of a few tournaments. Not experienced on the grass like Sakkari. And Sakkari's also won her last 4 years at Wimbledon in the first round in straight sets. So I think she's going to easily cruise through the first few rounds here. She's just too quick and powerful again here. I don't really back her all the way because she's not that great on grass courts, but easily first round, 8th seed's going to easily clear up Kuszczak here.
You hope.
Yeah, I think
There's
so.
always an upset.
But so that Sakkari in straight sets at 2-0 is $1.85 on Ladbrokes. And then as I talked about yesterday, Offner beating Lehechka.
Oh, Seb Offner.
Seb Offner, great name. I think he's going to cause an upset tonight. Hopefully they play tonight because they didn't get to play last night. So get on Offner at $2.40 as well.
Nice. Like that. Seb Offner. Match/game picks. Game picks. There you go.
I think
England
we need a bid
versus
for that as
Australia.
well.
England, Australia, third test. This is the one that England usually wins. We know that.
Yep. Heard a lot.
$11 for either side to win by an innings.
Crack.
I kind of like just the sheer number. Because if you see
been
England,
so close.
if you see England, like the thing is Australia's bowling is usually too good to go, well, England posted 600 in the first innings and we got bowled out twice.
Yeah.
So the bowling side is a little bit too good. But these Aussies, it does feel like, I know that you've tipped them in today's paper, stats guy.
Yeah, I'm not as confident as the first 2 tests.
I'm not at all confident, and I was actually sort of digging into like what England's numbers are for their win, or obviously a draw. So England draw is probably where I'm going to land on this when we do tomorrow's show, where it's an Ashes special. But $11 for either side to win by an innings. I didn't mind just the sheer number of it, the size of it. $11 sounds good. Why not? If you like the Aussies to bounce back after a tumultuous few days of having everything slung at them to go, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, stuff
you
you
guys
guys-
bang.
Yeah,
And let's
that's
go
what I
absolutely
reckon.
and slap
The
them
one
around
thing I
anyway.
would do if I was England players is I would stop tweeting.
Yeah, and then
Like,
James Anderson writes in the paper.
They are literally trying to tweet through it.
Yeah,
And
James-
the Australian guys are just like,
Don't care.
yeah.
That's the one thing, even just getting rid of all the stats, just the fact that Australia's just concentrating on the cricket compared to England.
Tweeting, writing
Yeah.
columns. Like Travis Head was in an interview, was like,
Whinging on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whinging
so
on
that's
TV.
yeah. But you're right, England do like playing headingly.
That's it. It's a
yeah,
tricky
that's my
one.
problem.
We've got
I think-
nightmares
I think
there
we'll
from
get
last
beaten
time as well.
handily.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Friday Night Footy. I mentioned this one as well. Western Bulldogs versus Collingwood on Friday at Marvel. The under is 166.5. Well, the over-under. 6 straight games between these two has hit under that mark.
Okay.
That doesn't shock.
It's a big-bodied Western Bulldogs midfield up against the silky smooth
De Goey's
Pies
back.
players. De Goey should be back. I don't mind the Dogs in this at plus 11.5. They've won the last 2 against the Pies. Pies have only won 3 of the last 8 at Marvel.
Really?
And
That's
they haven't
surprising.
covered. They have only covered 1 of those last 8. That's
One.
a big number again.
Wow.
This is also a Collingwood team that stank up until round 9 last year.
True, but they've also been sort of in and amongst it against the.
Oh, they made the
Bulldogs,
finals
you know.
too, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but no, I mean, up until last year,
until-
they had 3 years of crap.
Yeah, that's true.
Point being, it's still a lot of games where they've all gone under, and
Yeah.
I feel like this is a bit of a squeeze the life out of the game for both sides. So going the under there, $1.89, and the plus 11.5 for the Dogs at the moment. I think that was 12.5 yesterday, so it's getting a little bit shorter as people realise that.
Okay.
And then one of my other game picks, I think you guys are about to load into this, Cronulla.
Yeah, I was going to have a look at this.
40
yeah.
plus.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the
I don't
NRL.
trust West at all.
Jeez, up against West Tigers.
40 plus, you don't usually say that in.
And to go over quickly, yesterday's Wimbledon picks, which I think are all still on. Lloyd Harris against Greg Barry. Gregoire Barry.
Oh, we all were so pumped to see Greg Barry.
$2.
I mean, I wasn't planning on watching it.
but
but
I was
sure.
going to watch it.
Kubler versus Uga Umbe. Umbe won in straight sets last time. He's still on here. Dom
Yep.
Stricker versus Popperin. Popperin $2.05 on for that. Alcaraz over Chardy. Seb Corder over Vesely. And the Demon over Coppians.
I think Alcaraz has won the first set easily. Oh, first 2 sets actually. So
So we had him at 3-zip yesterday.
yeah,
anyway,
so you're on. I think. Yeah.
Don't mind that. Alex.
Yeah, nice and simple one for tomorrow night's game at the MCG. Swans taking on Richmond. Sydney, they've won the first quarter in their last 9 matches against teams that are in the bottom 4. Richmond, currently in the bottom 4. You also have a look.
I didn't know.
Are
That.
they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
That really shocks me.
Yeah, 15,
Wow.
16, 17, 18. They're 15th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Swans have also gotten off to a flyer in a lot of their games this year. They've led at quarter time in 9 of their games this season. They should have led at quarter time last week, but somehow didn't. But anyway, $2 for that available with Bet365 right now. Don't mind that at all. Swans to come out firing. They did kick 4-2 in the preceding match in round 5 in Adelaide.
Spoiler alert for tomorrow's AFL show. What's the over-under for that
It's
Sydney-Richmond
like
game?
165, 166.
What are you thinking on that?
I'm thinking over because the last 3 have gone over easily.
It's supposed to be all right conditions. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure. Yeah.
Fascinating. It's a good game. That's going to be an awesome Thursday night game.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it'll be
can't. I
great.
can't wait.
It's a big game for both
I'm
teams.
Up and about. Oh, it is
Massive.
literally an elimination
We're not
final.
going.
Loser,
Yeah.
we
Lose
can
this and it's
finally
over.
just go.
Yep.
Done.
Speaking of good Thursday night games, that's go.
If you're a Cronulla fan, I think it will be. The Tiger. It's Cronulla Sharks taking on West Tigers, of course.
Phil and I will yell about this tomorrow.
Yeah, this is going to be a bloodbath. I think Tigers are last on the ladder. They've lost 5 of their last 6, and a
Who would win a fight between a shark and a tiger? That's all I want to know.
Ooh.
Where?
Where
What's
was
the
it? Is it in the
terrain?
water?
What's the
Is it
terrain?
half in water, half land?
Tigers, don't mind the water, don't they?
If it's in the water, the Sharks
I think the
winning.
Sharks got
If,
it.
if it's like in here, the Tigers winning. If it's on
In here.
if it's on a beachfront, I'm backing the Shark.
Nice.
Well, the Shark is going to absolutely maul the Tiger in NRL sense. The Tigers got smashed by the Cowboys 74-0 last week, and the Cowboys are 9th on the ladder, and not that haven't got the best
They
offense.
were prelim finalists.
Looking at the Sharks, they've actually got the number 1 offense in the league, averaging a huge 28 points per game. So now they come up against a much better offense. The Sharks also smashed the Cowboys recently, so it's a bad mix for the Tigers. West looked horrible against North Queensland, who are 9th on the ladder, as I just said. And I think Sharks can easily cover the line of 21.5. West are the second worst team at covering the line in the NRL at 3-12 this year.
Jeez.
3-12, which I thought was going to be the worst. It's not. I think Dragons are the worst. At
I was
covering
going to
the
say
line.
the Roosters.
Yeah, the Roosters might actually be up there as well. But they've been horrible as well. But yeah, the minus 21.5 I think is an awesome line considering they got done by 74 points last week, which was an NRL record we found out this morning.
Unreal.
And then the minus 31.5, really good value, $3.10. It's probably the one I'm leaning on, a bit safer than the minus 41.5, which I think you've had a bet on, Jim.
I've already got it. I'm already on that,
$6.25, which is really good value. You don't always go the 40 plus in NRL, but
Tomorrow's show literally could go for 15 minutes where Phil and I go 30 plus, 30 plus, 30 plus.
yeah,
Brad Fitley, you're an idiot. Queensland will win 3-0. Catch us next week.
nice.
That's the NRL show. Done.
Yeah. That was it. They're gonna
I
keep that up.
do like that Sharks. I had them at 39.5 yesterday, and that was like 650 or something. So yeah, you can see that getting further and further.
Yeah,
up. It's
yeah,
been
usually
over
I
a
wouldn't
second.
tip
This is
that
why I've
such a
had it.
big
This is why
amount.
I've just had about literally.
Cronulla, look good on
it's-
offense. Nico
like-
Hines is in good form.
But yeah, to be tipping a team by that much is chaos. But like the 74 zip, watch the Tigers come out and actually win now.
Yeah, I know.
100%. That's how NRL works. It's
Right.
dumb and I hate it.
Best bets for tomorrow, today, whenever. The Coleman medal, gentlemen. Alex wrote a big article yesterday. I think eventually made the case for Charlie Curnow.
Yes. One goal behind currently.
Tex is leading. Tex Walker, Adelaide Crows. Nick Larkey, the big Suba. He's at $8 in third. Well, he's third price at the moment. Yeah. I think it's Tex. I think Alex made the case for Charlie, my beloved Charlie Curnow, as a Blues fan. I would very much like to see him win the Coleman, because if he goes on an absolute tear now and wins it from here, it means that Carlton will probably win a couple of wins here.
Yep.
They have Freo, Port, West Coast, Collingwood, St Kilda, Melbourne, and Gold Coast, and then GWS to finish the season.
Yep.
Charlie doesn't actually have a great record against any of those teams.
That's because his record till last season wasn't great.
Exactly. This is the thing. Charlie, when you're reading into the stats of Charlie, it's essentially like, what did he do last year and what did he do before he got hurt in 2019?
Yep.
Like
pretty much. Yeah.
Sort of like stop and start kind of vibes. But then you go and look at venues and stuff like that. But Charlie, like against Freo, average of 1.2, an average of 1.8 against Port, an average of 3 against West Coast, including the 9 that he kicked at the start of this season.
Yeah, that helps.
Collingwood, 2.2. So he doesn't mind playing against Collingwood. St Kilda, 1.3 goals a game. Melbourne only 1. Gold Coast only 1. GWS only 1.2.
But it wouldn't be a shock to see him kick a bunch against Gold Coast the way they're going at the moment. West Coast as well.
But this is the thing. I'd rather have at least like that track record of against Gold Coast. He had 2 games where he's kicked 3 or 4 plus.
Yeah,
and he hasn't got that. Like it's literally his stats have him essentially sitting around that 6 game mark against most teams, right, at this point.
Yeah.
And for Freo, for Port, for Melbourne, for Gold Coast, for GWS, he's only at like between 6 and 8, 9 goals total against those teams.
Yeah,
so that takes into games he's played against them this year, last year, before he got
also
hurt.
when Carlton absolutely stank 5 years ago.
True. So I worry about Charlie hitting just the sheer volume, whereas you look at Tex, and obviously he's got a far larger sample size, but against Essendon, average almost 3 goals. Against GWS, almost 2.
Wow.
Melbourne, almost 2. Port, over 2. Gold Coast, over 3. And he's at home for that game as well. They could smash Gold Coast.
They could, yeah.
Brisbane away, he has his highest average, I think, against Brisbane. But they will be at the Gabba. It's going to be a tough game. But he averages over 3 goals a game against Brisbane.
Yeah.
Sydney, at home. That's going to be a fascinating game. Second last game of this season, I think.
Yeah. Swans' last 2 weeks is Adelaide and the D's.
That is brutal. And he averages over 2 goals against Sydney. And then the clincher. He's playing West Coast. In West Coast, we don't know if they're going to be resting him.
We also don't know like the time of this game could be important. If it's the last game of the season,
he might rest.
Sunday 4:40.
I think if he
what I was about to
say,
say, but if it's Sunday 4:40 and Adelaide's position can't change unless they win by 370 points, it's like, we're going to rest you, and you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like that 8 is so topsy turvy.
Yeah.
And I still think it'll be wildly topsy turvy.
I also have something on Adelaide to make top 4. So
nice. So I feel like Tex is probably my pick because I feel like he'll still, because you'll have that bye before the finals.
Yep.
I feel like he'll still play that West Coast game, even if it's in West Coast. They might just give him that week off, but if he's still in the chase for the Coleman, you got to give him.
Yeah, but they might give him, even just the first.
Never won a Coleman. See, the problem is Tex has only got over 50 goals once in like the last 8 years.
Yep,
that's which he's going to do. He's going to get past.
That's the thing. That doesn't matter because he's going to do it this year.
But it's just like, it's.
He might want to go for the Coleman as well.
And
this is a lot of talk for a $3.20 bet, but at the same time,
that's all right.
I do love it.
Go check out the article.
It's not the favourite.
Larky, he's at $8. He's got. It's tough to pick him, obviously, because he's only got a very, very short track record, and he's been incredible this year.
Yeah, last year and this year.
I'm betting on the unexposed form of him just charging up the ladder in North, going, we're going to play it.
The thing going in Suva's favour is a simple fact that he's got a game against Hawthorn, a game against West Coast, and a game against Gold Coast.
See, that's my one. The Gold Coast one's the one for me where it's like Gold Coast have just given up because they're 13th and whatever. And North Melbourne just...
We always lose to
last
Gold
game.
Coast.
But it's the last game of the season. They just run rampant and Suva kicks 7.
It's also the most Gold Coast thing in the world, though, is to like win that last game of the season.
Yeah, they've done that.
They did that
last year against us. Yeah. They smashed us. I was like,
so tough scenes. I think Suva could give it a bit of a shake, but I think it's Texas to win.
It's the top 3 in betting. Like, it's from now on, it's almost irrelevant unless Joe Danaher comes out and kicks 10 this weekend.
Yep, which
potentially could happen because he's playing really well at the moment. But it's also like he's probably going to kick 10 goals too. That he's got to do that. He can't kick straight.
Yeah, Danaher is not going to kick 10 goals 8.
Yeah.
But if he does,
that'd be cool.
Either way, I think Tex Walker $3.20. That's with Bet365. They had the best prices as I looked at this morning. So
cool.
Charlie $2.75 is the favorite. Even with Tex leading, I just like Texas run home a little bit more, especially at home. They could smash Greater Western Sydney. Yeah. They could he's playing Port at home. That's going to be a wild game. They have the Gold Coast at home, they have Sydney at home, and they've got the West Coast game away.
I also wonder why that showdown isn't the Friday night marquee game.
They did that, on a Sunday last year as
Saturday.
well, I think. But yeah.
It should be Friday night. The showdown should just be Friday night, lock it in, done.
Killing me. Well, I don't make the AFL schedule, contrary to popular opinion.
Don't you?
Yeah,
I
if I was the chief executive of Common Sense in the AFL,
Vice
I
president.
don't think they have one of them at the moment. Yeah.
no, they don't.
Not in the
That's
tribunal
the
either.
NBA Australia pitch to the NBA. I want to be the junior executive vice president of Common Sense.
Yeah.
I swear a lot more in that title as well, usually.
Yes,
but
yes, yeah.
That's where
I was about to say the
You've
things,
done well, you've done
I would do if I was in control of the structure. Thursday night games every week would be my first thing.
Because we actually run out of Thursdays, next week?
After next week, I
2
think.
weeks, yeah,
Or 2 weeks.
And they won't do the last round, but ideally that finals round, that week of finals would be Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday twilight, Saturday night. And just screw Sunday, who cares?
All right, Alex, best bets.
Yeah, it was Cronulla to smash the West Tigers. Cronulla to score 41 or more points themselves, $2.65.
Oh, I didn't say that one.
And
really?
Yeah. And the minus 39.5, $5.40. Yeah, the Tigers suck. Go Cronulla.
Love that.
Yeah.
Stats guy?
We're looking at a Wimbledon winner. I think I touched on her a little bit in one of the earlier podcasts, but on the side, I also picked her as well. Ons Jabeur to win the women's side of the draw. She's got an amazing slice, really good at cross-court hitting, perfect for the grass courts, as reflected in her grass record, which she is now 22-3 across the past few years just on grass. She made the final against Rybakina last year, and she was very unlucky not to go all the way. I think I was on her last year as well, so I'm really hoping she bounces back and can go all the way this year. She's also on the other side of
What
the draw.
seed is she?
She's 7th seed, I think.
7th.
She dropped off a little bit. She pulled out of a few tournaments at the start of the year and it dropped her from, I think she was 3rd in the world. I think she's now 6th or 7th in the world, so something like that. But yeah, she's also on the other side of the draw to Iga Swiatek, who's the main favourite at the moment. I think she's only paying $3 to win the whole thing because she's won, I think, every major except for Wimbledon at the moment. So she's absolutely flying, but she's on a different side of the draw. I wouldn't be surprised if these two meet in the final, and I think Jabeur is better on grass than her. So I think she can go all the way. She also won her first round match last night. It was one of the only matches under the roof that got to get play. She won that in straight sets very easily, so she won't be feeling sore after that. So $13, I was really surprised. For someone who made the final last year, you got Rybakina and Swiatek, who are both under $5. But you got Jabeur, who's just as good as them, $13. Yeah.
So would she be on the same side of the draw as the Rybakina?
Yeah, she is on. She'll have to try and get some revenge on that. That's probably her toughest matchup if she goes all the way. Yeah. But yeah,
Interesting.
$13 I think is great value for someone of her quality.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Stats guy.
Perfect.
To rehash your rate my multi as well.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
You've got Greg Barry.
Yes, Greg Barry.
Senego.
Yep. Oh, Senego. Oh, he won the. I was about to say he won, but he won the first set, and I think he's leading the second set as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bolter.
Bolter is
Over the
down to
dasher.
Saville at the moment, but,
Hey, go Dasher.
it's on serve, so it's. And then Sloane Stephens didn't even get on, I don't think. Either,
Yep.
So
So
we'll
was
see how
five-
that goes. Hopefully they get on tonight.
So 560 it was yesterday, basically. Interesting. If we were going to do a quick AFL line multi, how do we feel about some of the AFL lines this week? If we bring them up.
I don't mind a few underdogs in them.
There are some fascinating matchups this week. And I'm very worried about the Carlton game, obviously. I'm worried about every Carlton game, though, to be fair.
I think every Carlton sport.
So I think you've gone Sydney. They're plus 4.5 at the moment.
Which is wild to me. I can't understand why
they're
they're not
underdog.
favourite.
As I mentioned, the Dogs.
Braden Maynard, literally, as we're doing this, has been ruled out of the clash on Saturday.
big, eh?
Really?
Or Friday night, sorry.
Bulldogs plus 11.5. Collingwood have only covered 3 of 8.
No Maya check
No,
either.
1 of 8.
Yeah,
Actually,
no Maya check and Maynard.
I'm going Bulldogs. I love that plus 11.5. Brisbane are 82.5 point favourites against West Coast.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's pretty big.
I think I've started my
probably go
article on
Brisbane.
that.
They
I'm going
beat
Brisbane
Richmond
now.
by 81 points. I think they're going to beat West Coast by more.
Yeah.
And the trickiest one that I saw, I think, on the Saturday was the Greater Western Sydney Hawthorn game.
But-
Hawthorn plus 29.5.
No. They're
Really?
on the... Is Sicily back, yes or no?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I
If
don't
Sicily's
trust.
back- If Sicily's back, yes. If he's not, no.
GWS at the end of games just don't put away teams. I don't think so. I don't
Did
mind.
you not see Josh Kelly bomb it from 60 on Sunday?
I did not know.
yeah. Shut up, stats guy.
Whoa.
St Kilda, Melbourne.
Calm
I'm
down.
staying away from that. But
Yep.
Port Gold Coast, give me Port minus 29.5.
Hell yeah.
Those 4 games.
Is that in Adelaide?
That is in Adelaide.
Oh,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
smash them.
Yeah.
So Sydney plus 4.5. Dogs plus 11.5. Brisbane minus 82.5 points.
Yeah, but it seems risky, but
And Port minus 29.5.
Yeah.
$13.30.
Yeah, I like-
Rate my multi.
got a late one there.
10? You
10.
that?
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.5.
The Essendon and Adelaide one was a weird one. I'm staying away from Freo Carlton. And
Yep.
Geelong North.
The only one I'm worried about is
Geelong North is fascinating. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that one? Let's go
What's the
48
line?
and a half.
Oh.
In Geelong, right?
We don't like playing
They
in Geelong.
scored 54 points last week. So
Yeah, we don't have a good
Math
back
says
line.
no.
Nah,
Yeah, I
we're
like
gonna-
the 13:30.
It will be
of just
about
those
50, I reckon. Something
Nice
like
one. All right. Well, there you go. That was a nice little raid my multi at the end. That's it for Co-Bet Daily for today. We'll be back on deck tomorrow. We'll have a daily show, which will be all Ashes, which will be a quick one. We'll have the AFL show and then the NRL show tomorrow. So that'll be your feed will be absolutely buzzing with CodeBet.
Absolutely.
Subscribe on your podcast app. If you're not subscribing, what are you doing? Like that'd be weird at this point.
Very weird.
Like, review, and star it though. Comment, subscribe. Just press all the buttons. Press them. Click on your computer, on your phone. Use your thumbs. That's it. And check us a follow across all the socials. What do we say? Facey, IG, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube.
I
all
don't know.
good
The
stuff.
social guy isn't here today, so
He died in a grease fry. Send in any questions via the socials, any comments, and I think that's it. Thank you, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
cheers.
Thanks as always to Gerald for producing on this fantastic new studio that he's put together.
There's a
along with
lot of
our-
screens and a lot of cameras.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel very shiny. Either way. What do we say, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
Nice one. May all your picks come in. Happy punting. We'll catch you tomorrow with 3 shows. Go Bet Daily out.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.